Welcome to Milk and Honey, a ministry of Posture Shift. My name's Grant Hartley, and I will be your host. This is a podcast meant to showcase the truth, beauty, and goodness of the traditions and communities to which Side B folks belong, through the lens of Side B folks ourselves, that is, Christian sexual and gender minorities who submit to what is often called the traditional sexual ethic. It is a space in which we can experience treasures together: music, liturgy, reflections, meditations, teachings, from diverse Side B lives of faith and from the diverse faithful communities which strengthen and nourish us. In this episode, we will be hearing Ryan Michael offer a treasure for our hymnal, an original song titled For You.
Hi, my name is Ryan, and I will be sharing with you guys a hymn today. So the hymn basically kind of came out of a time where I was really struggling with kind of more or less what to do kind of with like career-wise and everything like that. But it actually came out at a time where I was on a worship team, and I was a part of this church plant, and we were trying to figure out a songwriting team. And with the songwriting team, it was just a lot of different like things kind of going on and stuff, but all in all, I actually didn't end up getting on the songwriting team because we actually had to audition for the team. And I really was just very frustrated. I was really kind of not really understanding like why that happened, and I think part of me really wanted to be on it for selfish reasons. Like I was more like, this is my chance to like be famous, blah blah blah, and everything like that. And I really feel like God kind of came back to me with that and said, so what was your purpose then doing this? Was it to glorify you, or was it to glorify me? And I think that was really a very hard-hitting moment of like, oh wow, like I actually don't really know. And it's kind of funny because in this time I was also in the book of Hosea, and if you've ever read Hosea is a very like, it's a very dark book, but it's also a very like hopeful book in a lot of ways too, which I found. And one verse that really stuck out to me was Hosea 6:6. And Hosea 6:6 is actually for I desire mercy, not sacrifice, an acknowledgement of God rather than burnt offerings. And there was actually a phrase of that was really, really cool. Or I was in my study Bible, and there was actually a section in my study Bible that I really, really liked that kind of like elaborated on this a little bit more. And this is what it said: religious rituals can help people understand God and nourish their relationship with Him. That is why God instituted circumcision and the sacrificial system in the Old Testament, and baptism and the Lord's Supper in the New Testament. But a religious ritual is helpful only if it is carried out with an attitude of love and obedience for God. If a person's heart is far from God, ritual will become empty mockery. God didn't want the Israelites' rituals, He wanted their hearts. Why do you worship? What is the motive behind your offerings and sacrifices? And I feel like in that moment, it really made me realize, why do I worship and why do I do the things that I do? And I think that's where this song kind of was birthed out of in that verse, is that because in this verse, it really does talk about God doesn't want an empty heart. He wants a heart of obedience. And kind of an encouragement even to Side B and even to people who aren't Side B. I feel like in Side B, we can kind of almost do this out of an obligation. It's not necessarily, it's like, oh, we have to kind of do this, but it's also an opportunity though. It's an opportunity to love Christ in a way that maybe people don't necessarily understand. And maybe sacrificing something that's very maybe common to a lot of people, and really just being and having an opportunity to show Jesus and how, hey, this is why I love Jesus, and this is why I love Jesus, and this is why I do what I do. And even with being a Christian, we can be a Christian and we can really think, oh, well, I have to do this. I have to be a Christian because of what I did, of how I was raised and everything. But at the same time, though, it's a great opportunity to say, hey, no, this is why I do what I do. And that way our worship is more fruitful, and that way our worship isn't just out of obligation, it's out of obedience, but also opportunity as well. So the song is called For You. It's an original song, and I really hope that it touches you just how much it was touching for me to write it.
And I don't need fame or fortune. All I need is you. I don't need to be known by this world. as long as I'm known by you. And I don't need fame or fortune, all I need is you. I don't need to be known by this world, as long as I'm known by you. As long as I'm known, for he desires mercy, not sacrifice, an acknowledgement of God rather than burnt offerings. So let this worship, let these songs be for you. Let all I do be for you. And I don't need fame or fortune, all I need is you. I don't need to be known by this world, as long as I'm known by you. As long as I'm known, for he desires mercy, not sacrifice, an acknowledgement of God rather than burnt offerings. So let this worship, let these songs be for you. Let all I do be for you. 'Cause it's never been about me, it's always been about you. So let my worship flow from a place that is only for you, that is only for you. 'Cause it's never been about me, it's always been about you. Oh, so let my worship flow from a place that is only for you, that is only for you. Let it all be for you, let it all be for you, Jesus, yeah, yeah, yeah. For he desires mercy, not sacrifice, an acknowledgement of God rather than burnt offerings. So let this worship, let these songs be for you. Let all I do be for you.
Thanks everyone for listening. Once again, Milk and Honey is a podcast brought to you by Posture Shift. You can learn more about their work at postureshift.com. Shout out also to our sibling podcast, Life on Side B. You can learn more about both podcasts at lifeonsideb.com. Our producer is Josh Proctor, and I'm your host, Grant Hartley. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and share it with your friends. If you'd like to learn more or support us, you can become a patron by going to patreon.com/lifeonsideb. And if you have a treasure in the broad categories of devotional, liturgy, or hymnal that you'd like to contribute to Milk and Honey, go to lifeonsideb.com/milk and honey. We would love to hear from you. See you, friends. Talk again soon and very soon.